How's it going, everybody? This is Ronin 47R, and today I'm going to go ahead and do a review of the Panzer 5/4. This is a German premium tank at Tier 5. It is not a tank you can purchase in the tech tree. It is a rare tank. The only time that it was sold was twice, really. Once during the release of the game, near the release, called the Founders Pack. The second time was at the 1-year anniversary, and it was called the Founders Pack Redo. The tank itself is valued at 3,000 gold. However, when you purchase this tank in those packages, it cost more than that because it came with other items, such as garage space, premium rounds, that sort of thing. You can see that, or maybe not, if you're familiar with the German, you can see that the turret comes from the Tier 4 German medium tier, it's a Tier 5, excuse me, but it's a Panzer 4 tank's turret sitting right there, and it is sitting on top of a Panther hull, and a Panther is a Tier 7 medium tank. So what you have here is a really special tank in that it is not only made up of two separate tanks, but while you're driving around in the land of Tier 5 in your Tier 5 medium tank, you are hauling around with you 870 points of health, which is more than double than most, if not all, of the other medium tanks of the same tier. In fact, the Tier 4 German medium tank is about 420. M4 is about 400. So you have a lot more health. Now, furthermore, if you think about it, the hull of this, since it is a Panther hull, it does have on this tank 85 millimeters in the front, you have 40 millimeters in the rear, and 40 millimeters on the side, which means you only have 10 millimeters less armor on the sides compared to the Tier 7 Panther. So this is a very well armored tank for what it is, which is a medium tank. This is not a brawling tank. I'll get into the way to play this tank later and with the reasons why, but I wanted to continue taking a quick look at the turret and the gun packages as well. So let's back up what it is I'm talking about. The Panzer IV turret that is sitting up there, and you can see I have 3 tanks down below there, has a gun package at the top end. And again, I'm only looking at the 7.5 centimeter quick 40L48. That particular gun fires 15 rounds per minute. Great. Penetration 110, damage 110. Aiming of 2.29. And with that, of course, it's connected to the turret, and the turret traverse speed is 44 degrees. Not bad. I mean, it's pretty good. And then the view range is 350. All right, so I get that. But when I was looking at this tank and having recognized the turret, knowing a little bit about it, I was really curious to see how it compared to the other Tier 5 medium tank turrets being used. So looking at this package here on the Panzer 3/4, again, same gun in name, but instead of 15 rounds per minute, this particular tank has a 13.95 rate of fire. Aim time is 2.29. And the pen and the damage are the same. You do get an increase in the turret traverse speed. So now it's 53 degrees, which is really fast. You've lost 30 meters in the view range, but it's something you can live with. But let's get to the meat of this, which is the Panzer 5/4. So looking at this package, and of course being premium, you get what you get. There is nothing to upgrade, so we have one package to look at. You can see this guy here has the same gun in name. The rate of fire, though, is 14 rounds. Penetration is 110. Damage is 1. So now you have the aim time to look at, which is 1.71. Now, it's the quickest aim time between the 3 guns. Same penetration, same damage, rate of fire. All right, so it's right there in the middle. But really, when you're looking at 4.29 seconds per round versus the fastest of these guns, which is 0.29 seconds faster, not that that big of a deal. Plus, you're getting the benefit of the traverse speed of 53. So you're being able to turn the turret very quickly. The view range is the same as a 3/4, which is 120 meters. So it's, I was very surprised to see that compared to its peers, especially the top level of its, this tank can really hold its own. I mean, normally with a premium tank, you are penalized with some subpar modules, gun, pen, etc. But in this tank, it's right there up with its peers that are non-premium, which is great. And then, of course, earlier I did mention that the hull is a Panther. Just to kind of put where my mouth is here, taking a quick look at the tank information for the Panther. You can see there it's 85, 50, 40 for the hull. So again, the armor is only 10 millimeters greater on the sides. This is kind of the generic overlay information. So what probably makes a little bit more sense is to take a look at the highest package. And I may have mentioned earlier that the Panzer 5/4's engine is listed as a Tier 7 engine, whereas the Panther's highest level engine is listed as a Tier 8 engine. The last thing to notice about the engine is that it is listed as the same name, the same type, and they have the same listed horsepower. However, the Panzer 5/4 goes much faster at around 55 kilometers per hour, whereas the Panther does not have that high-end top speed. It is not a brawling tank. You're not going to want to get up close to people. You do not have the hull traverse speed per second to brawl and dance around an enemy tank. You're not going to want to slug it out with someone because you don't have the armor that's going to deflect items, shells coming in on a regular basis. You're going to want to go ahead and use its top speed, which is 55 kilometers per hour. Terrible acceleration, so you're not brawling. But you're going to want to use this top speed as a flanking tank. You're going to want to use it as a second line tank for support. You're going to want to be taking shots of opportunity. All right, so another item I want to take a quick look at here. Moving out our ride with the equipment. I'm going to go ahead and sell this very quickly. There you go. Not going to read it all to you and insult your intelligence. But you can see that I went ahead and purchased the ventilation because of obvious reasons of +5 to crew skills, and the gun rammer. And especially with the gun rammer, I figure this has low alpha and a high rate of fire, and if I can increase the rate of fire just a little bit more, I can get a few more shells down and hopefully get some more damage. And I felt that was a good purchase compared to the other items, which I personally don't find value in or would not use the tank in that way to get value from it. The toolbox, as an example, I mean, it's great, but I don't want to take up a spot with it. I'll use skills to take care of that. The GLD, again, you're under 2 seconds. Why purchase that? And then the spall liner, very popular piece of equipment for this particular tank. I personally had it on there, but took it off because ramming is not exactly something I do all the time, just for opportunistic. Like any other tank I would use. It's definitely not my first choice. And as far as our artillery is concerned, I really don't have much problems with artillery. Well, that leaves us with the top three here. As you know, I chose the binocular telescope, and the reason for that is because using this flanking and sniping, shoot and move type of behavior with this tank, I'm getting that 25% increase on the view range, which as a base of 320 meters, you're almost to 400 meters. So I feel that was a good choice. Moving over to the consumables, see that I have your standard supply setup. At least for me, it's a standard supply setup on my tanks, and I don't go with the more expensive kit because I personally don't find the value. And then the ammunition itself, a lot of shells, so that's a great thing. Went ahead and went with 77 for my AP, and about 10 for the premium rounds, and then 5 for the high explosive for those special occasions. Now remember, you are going to be going against up to Tier 7 unless you're platooned and someone drags you up. This tank does not have special matchmaking, so you're definitely going to want to have a few premium rounds in your pocket for those special occasions, as well as HE for those appropriate applications. Before we go into the battle themselves, and I'll show you how this thing runs, you'll notice that there's the red and white stripe emblem that I run on all of my tanks, and I just wanted to let you know that if you see me out on the battlefield, stick your hand out of the commander's hatch, wave at me, say hello, and you never know, maybe I'm filming, so make sure to say hi. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at some videos. The first couple of clips that I'm going to show you are examples of what not to do. Usually I see reviews where people are showing what the best thing this tank can do, but thought you might get a kick out of you seeing exactly what not to do with this tank. And then after that, I have a few lucky situations where my average skills somehow get me some decent scores. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at those videos. Alright, so here I am on Arctic region, and for some of you, you may know that the Arctic region map, and a few others, has been changed over time. This is the map after it's been changed, so just keep that in mind. There's a few tanks in front of me here, having a little trouble with gun depression, so I have to move my hull forward to get the downhill slant to get my gun low enough to start working on this light tank here. Feeling pretty good about myself, bouncing some shots, being a big tough guy against this light tank, and he finds some cover down below in that valley. I start working on this Ram 2, bounce a shot, and meanwhile I'm trying to keep the Churchill on the other side of that rock. You can see my working on the gun depression, find just the right spot so I can take that next shot. And then I slug it out with this guy here. He's kind enough to give me a 90-degree angle, a complete hull shot on him. So I appreciate that. And then the light tank down below that hit earlier is on low health, and this will be a great opportunity for me to roll down that smooth little hill there, roll right into him, and be proud of myself. So here I go. But the map's changed, and it is no longer smooth. It is a cliff, and I die, and I'm sure everybody laughed at me. Alright, so in this clip, the battle's taking place on the Siegfried Line, and I've previously told my team that I plan on flanking around the west side of the map. A few people come with me, and it turns out that instead of moving as a group, they went out individually, one at a time, and so the Reds were able to take them out one at a time. At that point, I was kind of left in the middle of the map, high and dry, and so I did what I could, utilizing an artillery crater for cover, going hull down, as there was nothing else out there for cover. But this is a perfect example of why you shouldn't go hull down with this tank, or in other words, rely on the armor. Alright, and in this clip, the battle's taking place on Redshire. I am on the first of the hills on the south end of the map, middle section. And the enemy has just appeared on their hills, and as you can see, I'm having challenges getting on target due to the gun depression. One of the things that you can do to get around that, or to assist in getting around that, is turning your tank sideways. You're able to eke out a few more degrees of gun depression, but of course it is a little dangerous as you are showing the side of your tank, and it's hard to back out of danger quickly. You'll see a few more enemies and examples of what I'm talking about here. Alright, you're going to see this VK over there that I want really badly. And again, I continue to jockey around to get in position, fighting that gun depression while trying to stay in cover. Alright, hopefully my dream will be realized here, but I bounce. And another bounce. And finally, it's Christmas time. So, as you can see with this tank, There are some challenges with the gun depression, but even with this particular battle ending in a defeat, you can still see that there is money to be made and experience to be had with this tank. It's an excellent premium tank. Alright folks, this is the last battle that I'm going to be sharing with you in our Panzer 5/4 review. This battle is taking place on the map Arctic region. Here I am going towards the north along the western side, and I am asking for assistance to help protect this flank. As you can see, I still haven't taken to the new style of having that toggle map changed. I'm going with the old school, using the back button to continually look at the map. One of the benefits I find with doing that is I'm able to continue to identify what vehicles, what tanks the opposition has, what tanks I have on my team. And sometimes I actually like having the bigger view, and of course, good old habit. You can see there by looking at the map, the whole team is at the south and kind of hanging out in the southwest of the corner. And the only person that responded to my plea for help to come assist with this flank was one player, one tier 3 medium tank player. So shout out to that guy. Thanks, Post-War Deer 2999. Your bravery will be forever remembered. Alright, so he's actually continuing on past me. And he's made some contact there. I'm focusing on this T-25 way off in the distance, but my friend just bit the bullet. And now I am the only one at the top of the map. You can see I'm doing the Spider-Man, trying to get out of the way of anybody that's going to be following that tank destroyer that I just took out. Looks pretty clear, so I'm going to go ahead and head in. Alright, so finally I get another opportunity to work on the red team here. And I'm noticing during these replays that I have this annoying habit of keeping the trigger held down sometimes, and it does that awesome annoying sound of click click. So I need to work on that. I'm going to try to track this guy. Now, if you notice, I'm not spotted yet. However, I was hit. So, every so often, I'll, after making a shot, I pull back. And it pays off because it's either ricocheting or it's going over my left shoulder. So, it's always good to make sure that you're moving and being where the enemy doesn't think you are. Now there's that same tank I was working on earlier. He repositioned himself. He's got a few shots on me, but he's pushing up daisies. Now what I'm trying to do here is, even though there's multiple targets on the other side of that hill, that outcropping, I'm trying to make sure that there's only the opportunity for one red to shoot at me at a time, control the speed of the fight. And so that's why I use it to cut off everybody except for on that martyr. I'm trying to go one-on-one with the martyr. Of course, I was side-scraping to try to minimize my damage. Also, at the same time, I have to remember that the artillery has their eyes on me from when I was spotted, and that's why I continued dancing back and forth, and that artillery shot landed on that on the ground in front of me. So that maneuver paid off. Got a nice shot there on the top. And you can see the artillery was facing the opposite direction. He got tired of me and gave me a side shot. I was really lucky I didn't damage my tracks on that fall right there. So now there's only 2 left. And seeing that it's a Churchill 3, I switched to premium. And it paid off. And that's the game. All right, well, as you can see, being an average player, nothing special. Use a few techniques, be patient, and learn your tank. This Panzer 5/4 really pays off. Not bad, 85,000 for a tier 5 tank, and 3,000 for the experience. So it was a good day. Got a little Top Gun medal in there. I was really pleased with it. All right, everybody. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, learned something. I'm always learning something new. And if you see me out there on the battlefield, make sure you say hey. And thanks for watching. If you liked it, please remember to subscribe. Tell a friend. Like it. Send me a postcard. Whatever works for you. All right, I'll see you out there. Be safe.